Hello, my dear students. Today, under labor laws paper first, we will talk about two important topics. The one is posting of standing orders under section 9, given under section 9 of Industrial Employment and Standing Orders Act 1946, and duration and modification of standing orders, given under section 10 of Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act 1946. This is video lecture number 70. Posting of standing orders, given under section 9, talks that the text of standing orders as finally certified under this act shall be prominently posted by the employer in English and in the language understood by the majority of his workmen on special boards to be maintained for the purpose at or near the entrance through which the majority of the workmen enter the industrial establishment and in all departments thereof where the workmen are employed. So it is the responsibility of every employer under section 9 that employer should display these standing orders in English and in any other language understood by the majority of his workmen. Say for example, some industry is situated in some specific region where most of the workmen, they understand the regional language, say for example. So it is the duty of the employer that employer should post those standing orders in English as well as in that language which is easily comprehensible to all the workmen or which is understood or the language understood by the majority of his workmen. And these standing order has to be displayed or posting should be on the boards maintained for the purpose at or near the entrance. So what employer should take care? These standing orders should be displayed near the entrance through which the majority of the workmen enter in the premises or in the industrial establishment, and in all the departments thereof where the workmen are employed. Means these standing orders should be displayed or posting of those standing orders by the employer should be in English language and in other language which is prevalent there, like which language is more understood by the majority of workmen. And that has to be, these standing order has to be displayed on the special boards which are made for this purpose only or maintained for this purpose only for displaying those standing orders. And of course that would be near the entrance through which the majority of the workmen enter the industrial establishment and in all the departments thereof where the workmen are employed. So when we talk about the posting of standing orders under section 9 of the Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act 1946, we have to take care of these four things. Number one, that these standing orders should be in English language, plus or with the English language, it should be in the regional language as well, which is understood by the majority of the workmen. Special boards which are maintained for this purpose, these standing orders would be displayed on those boards, and these boards would be near the entrance where the majority of the workmen are and enter in the industrial establishment, and of course last but not least in all the departments thereof where the workmen are employed. So this is a very important provision related to the posting of standing orders given under section 9. Now we talk about the duration and modification of standing orders. Standing orders given under section 10. Standing orders finally certified under this act shall not accept an agreement between the employer and the workman or trade union or the representative body of the workman be liable to modification until the expiry of 6 months from the date on which the standing orders or the last modification thereof came into operation. So what is the meaning of that section? That standing order once finally certified under this act, then except there is an agreement between the employer and the workman, or this agreement may be between the trade union or the representative body of the workman, be liable to modification until the expiry of 6 months. So except this is the case of agreement between the employer and workman, if there is a final certified standing order under this act, then this shall not be liable to modification unless the expiry of 6 months. Only after 6 months you can make the modifications in that. And when we will count, from which date we will count these 6 months? From the date on which the standing orders are the last modifications thereof came into operation. So from that date, we will count those 6 months from the date on which the standing orders or the last modifications thereof came into operation. So this is one important provision related to the duration and modification of standing orders. And subject to the provisions of subsection 1, an employer or workman or a trade union or other representative body of workmen may apply to the certifying officer to have the standing orders modified, and such application shall be accompanied by 5 copies. So subject to the provision of subsection 1, an employer or the workman, trade union or the representatives may apply the certifying officer to have the standing orders modified, and such application shall be accompanied by 5 copies of the modifications proposed to be made. So there has to be 5 copies of those modifications will be proposed, or whatever modification you are proposing to make. And where such modifications are proposed to be made by agreement between the employer and the workman or a trade union or other representative body of the workman, a certified copy of the agreement shall be filed along with the application. So sometimes it might happen that the employer and the workman or the trade union or the representative of the trade union, they are agreeing to make certain modifications in the standing orders. Then a certified copy of that agreement shall be filed along with the application. So whenever you are filing that application to make those modifications, then means on the basis of that agreement, or all the parties are agreeing to make those changes in the standing orders, then it has to be filed. The certified copy of the agreement has to be filed along with the application. And the foregoing provisions of this act shall apply in respect of an application under this subsection 1 as they apply to the certification of the first standing order. This is again one important provision. And nothing contained in subsection 2 shall apply to an industrial establishment in respect of which the appropriate government is the government of the state of Gujarat or the government of the state of Maharashtra. Now we talk about the oral evidence in contradiction of standing orders are not admissible. This is again one important thing given under the act, that in case means no oral evidence having the effect of adding to or otherwise varying or contradicting standing orders as finally certified under this act shall be admitted in any court. So no oral evidence having the effect of adding to or otherwise varying or contradicting standing orders as finally certified under this act shall be admitted in any court. Section 15(1) of the act empowers the appropriate government to make rules to carry out the purposes of this act after previous publication by notification in the official gazette. And 2 provides 15(2) provide that in particular and without prejudice to the generality of the foregoing powers, and such rules may prescribe additional matters to be made to be included in this schedule. So it prescribes additional matters to be included in this schedule and the procedure to be followed in modifying standing orders certified under this act in accordance with any such addition. And next is B, set out model standing orders for the purposes of this act and prescribe the procedure of certifying officer and appellate authority. C. D, prescribe the fee which may be changed for copies of standing orders entered in the register of standing orders. And E, provide for any other matter which is to be or may be prescribed. Thank you so much. This is all about the oral evidence in contradiction of standing orders not admissible. Section 15(1), 15(2), subclauses. So these are certain provisions related to oral evidence in contradiction of standing orders not admissible. And my dear students, today we have just covered these two topics: posting of standing orders under section 9, and we have also discussed the duration and modification of standing orders. Posting of standing orders is concerned, we have just gone through that an employer should go, or an employer will go for the any language which is understood by majority of his workmen, or the English language, and these standing orders would be displayed on special boards maintained for that purpose near the entrance through which the majority of the workmen enter in the industrial establishment, and these standing orders would be displayed in all departments thereof where the workmen are employed. And in case subject to the provision of subsection 1, employer or the workman or the trade union or other representative body of the workman may apply to certifying officer to have standing orders modified, and such application shall be accompanied by 5 copies of the modifications proposed. And so those modifications would be proposed in 5 copies, and where such modifications are proposed to be made by agreement between the employer, workman, or the trade union or their representative, then a certified copy of that agreement shall be filed along with the application. So that we have already discussed, and there are certain other important provisions which we have already discussed. So this is all, my dear students, for today's lecture, and I believe this lecture will help you. And once again, I advise you that whenever you are going through those PPTs or any notes, please keep a copy of the Bare Act with you and refer to those Bare Acts. Then only you just consult those slides or notes or books. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. And I believe these PPTs will help you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care.